if the demonstrative's the word, animated. It just feels like the last couple of games we've seen you show a different level of emotion as a head coach. You saw the jacket come off today.
Yeah. I was hot today. I really was literally hot. I was hot about other things, but I thought today, I mean, after the first call, I mean, it is in theory hitting the ball. I think I was probably in the wrong, but I think that is just the intent of that, of what she was trying to do. I was in the wrong, but I just think that was just one of those where I think it just is a ridiculous thing to. I don't want to be fined. I just, in that moment, I shouldn't have done that, but I just thought, I've seen it happen many times in my career, and it's just kind of you kind of look, there's no ill intent with it whatsoever. But I was in the wrong with it. But after that, I think it was a pretty even scale. But that probably did get me a little warm, but it wasn't for drama effect. I was just very hot.
Jeff, Coach, the three kids that you thought were going to be your big three at the beginning of the season were combined 5 for 21 tonight. Mm-hmm. Where is the team's compass right now? Who is your North Star?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest challenge, because I really love our youth. I think you guys probably are looking at it, and you're probably looking at it that we're a lot farther away than we're close, and I kind of look at it we're a lot closer than we're farther away. We've had potentials to be blown out, and we never have been. I think we've lost by 10 or under, right? As lower losses, I'm not trying to say that, but our young kids they're bringing it. They're bringing it, and I think that's the thing that really is promising. I feel badly for our upperclassmen. I think they're pressing. I think the young kids are bringing it. Upperclassmen are pressing. And I think there's a fine line between the competition of, wanting to get minutes and then being able to manage that competition, right? And I think that's where the pressing comes in. But when I say that, it's not for in any way, shape, or form hurting. Our team chemistry is great. I just think individually they want to do so well. And when you want to do so well and you're pushing to do so well, oftentimes it ends up being tighter. And so what's happening, we're starting games very tight. Unfortunately, it's been a lot of our veterans that have made some tough passes, that have made some tough decisions, and it's putting us in, a little bit of a hole. So there's pressure that comes with that, and then there's a delicate dance of, how long you ride that out. And so I'm figuring that out. I take a lot of the, I got to get them in better positions. I got to get them where they're a little bit more confident, the vets. But I do think the promise of our youth and what they're doing is really, really hopeful. And I think the old saying, you can wait for a break or you can create a break. I sure love to get a break here or there in this conference season, but I got to keep working to create a break too.
Sure.
You were subbing nonstop, it seemed like, most of the game, but then the last 6-7 minutes you settled on this lineup. I guess what message were you maybe sending to them?
I don't think we subbed. I think we subbed a little better than we have in the past. We were subbing, but I think there was more of a cadence to it, in my opinion. But I have to watch the film. In the second half, you just, our staff has a lot of input into that, and I obviously do most of the input, but I think that, you need a defense, right? We missed a lot of defensive assignments. I credit Indiana. Terry, they lost a lot too, and they've certainly figured it out. They got a great three that are playing really well, with Parrish and McNeil and Garzon. So you think we wanted some defense, and then boy, we just blow an assignment. They hit they had wide open shots, right? And then sometimes when it got down the stretch, we know we had to match and punch for punch. So you're trying to find someone that can put the ball in the bucket. So I think you're trying to get some defense and then get a couple holds, but then throw some offense in there. That's what I'm gathering what happened. But I did like our substituting. I thought it was a little bit more consistent. I mean, Tegan Mulaney just wide open. She's a really good shooter. She just hasn't shot well since Western Missouri. But I believe in her, but then there comes to a point in the game. You gotta have a little defense and you gotta know that ball's going in. So that's why you didn't see her as much that second half, and I was just trying to get combinations I thought could, run some of our sets and give us a chance.
So you mentioned the pressing that you're getting from the team early. It seemed like Sita Folter was at the very least credited with, I think, 3 turnovers in the first quarter. How do you sort of coach up somebody who has that sort of veteran leadership and presence on the team and try to get more, I guess, sort of production out of her, especially with what she went through in the offseason?
Yeah. I think we just is, you just gotta, the tough thing is you're instructing and you're critiquing and you're telling them that you believe in them, but then you have to make game time decisions of, which is tough, because I do believe in Sid wholeheartedly, but I had to give some other minutes tonight because Strimlow was really making a lot of things happen, with some loose balls and some tied up. I mean, that kid's got, tied up the jump balls tonight, and just gives you a little something, right? So it just is, it just is a maturity, I think, and I know Sid's disappointed, but you just keep believing in them, keep, firmly critiquing, but you just have to, I think, stay consistent. And that's what I talked to the team a lot about tonight. I said, hey, when there's, not a lot of clear separation, then that's where you can oh, it wasn't my turn tonight. Or it can be like, it wasn't my turn tonight. Man, Taylor McCabe had a heck of a game. 4 for 5, 4 for 7 overall, and getting them to, keep focusing on that. And they've done a really good job of that all year. But as a coach, it gets a little harder when you're in a losing streak. And so that's where I think we just have to keep, being consistent.
Last one, Kyle.
Yeah, the turnovers were down a little bit tonight. I mean, 14 is probably a few more than you'd like still, but did you feel like, for the most part, you guys were able to get looks that you wanted, and maybe they just didn't go in? Or?
I thought we had some really great looks. I mean, honestly, when I go look at the film, we had some really wide open looks from the 3. Our posts had point blank looks. We got to really keep working on, the post play to me is this or that. And I think we did a lot of kind of playing with it. And I think we had some beautiful plays that worked to a charm, and we just did not get the immediate decision. So I really think, even though you guys, it might be a little bit tough to believe, I think we did a lot of things better. And I mean, I loved our efforts at the end. We're getting, we're not giving up. We're not, all's not lost in the locker room. I think sometimes I understand that fans were all disappointed, but I think we're getting some progress by the majority of them. And that's, my eye is always on the next, and it's on this particular season. It's not where we were. It's not where I want to be in a year from now. It's where I want to be when we play Nebraska. And this is a different role for me, obviously. But young teams, I've been there. We just haven't, all of us together in this room, been there for about 4 or 5 years. So I stay steady by remembering when you have a lot of young, it's a roller coaster. And I know what's coming, and I see the camaraderie, and I see their fight. And when I've seen that fight every game, Illinois was a little bit of an exception. We had some flatness I was surprised about. So I am encouraged with that. And I think we just need to find a way to make shots. We make some shots, it'll be a whole different deal.
Thanks.